Dice lost. I tore open the rift, only to be met by the same tiresome faces as always.
This is just a quick tech tips on essentially how to maximize damage on a Fediel against Lucilius fight, since Lucilius has a larger model that I don't think a lot of people notice, especially with his wings. But yeah, his model is really large, giving his wing is also count as a multiple hitbox, and it's really big. And as you can see here, clip is that I straight up start hitting him in the middle of my orb casting for Fidiel's, that's a couple finishing move. So that's a thing for you to essentially maximize the damage so you can make the whole run go faster and stuff. I don't see a lot of people, especially guides, talking about how more broken the orb is. Besides, like, oh, it charged faster, but did you know that if you just hug a boss that has a large model, or just any boss in general, you could essentially just get way more damage and charge it faster because you're doing it, more damage in the middle of your orb casting animation. And especially with bosses that's in the middle of the air, like Lucilius here, I am straight up tickling him in the middle of his 7 trumpet attack. And that's pretty high, to be honest. And the orb has such a large hitbox, and including him too, so they intersect and he just takes the middle of the damage, takes damage in the middle of his attack. So yeah, this is really broken, especially when you're fighting a world where he does, where he flies up in the sky and does his like down charge attack and all that stuff. But either way, there's also you can also continue doing damage when he does his celestial fusion, which is gonna come up sooner or later. And there's also clips of you can also do damage with Fediel's Shadow Stomp attack, because apparently there's a weird interaction where it still locks on and has like an infinite range or something, and as long as you're like decently close to the boss with when you're doing this attack, is that you can straight up still do damage. So yeah, you can look at it. This is just going to be a quick talk about it. And I wanted to say that there's essentially 2 bosses and a half that this attack can apply to, which is Lucilius. This only applies if you only attack from his wings, which is if you're attacking on his left side or right side. Attacking him from the front, you won't trigger a multi-hit. Or in the back, you can also do it, but it's gonna you're gonna miss like maybe like 2 or 3 or 4 hit, because it's kind of weird, because it's the wings aren't, I don't know how to basically show a hitbox, because I don't know how to get data for it, but essentially I would say like the wings just doesn't cover the back enough, so attacking from the back will probably do nothing. So attack Lucilius from the side. This also applies to, this is an exception to the world fight, especially when he's in form too, because he has wings, and for some reason when you attack his back, he will also take damage from his wings, because that's how big it is. But there is a small inconsistency, as in I think each wings has like a small hitbox, like its own each individual hitbox, especially with how it looks, rather than just one large hitbox like Lucilius, because I think they're just reusing the same model from from the game already, so they didn't bother changing it. But the other bosses, with the world fight and as Form 2, has that weird hitboxes and some inconsistencies. Then you also have Bahama Versa. He's so large that you can just, there's no point about talking to him. You just use your attack and you just kill him. Then you also have the Beelzebub. He doesn't count to a certain extent because he's a small unit, I would say. He doesn't have a large hitbox, even though he has wings. One of the weird part is there's so much inconsistency with that. It feels like if you're hitting Lucilius at the tip of his wings, of his model, for some reason, Beelzebub, when you're attacking him, your orbs doesn't start doing damage until it's almost in the middle of the wings section. So it honestly, it's really difficult doing this kind of thing. If you're fighting those small units, the only way to do that is if you somehow are able to be on ground and cast the orb while you're in the middle of, while you're on the ground, which is somewhat difficult because that requires you to save the thing and all that stuff, and also dodge enough that you are on the ground area. So yeah, then you have the Omni Dragon, which is he doesn't count because he has a large model, but for some reason it only works if you're attacking the head when it decides to look down on you and stuff. But the minions, you can the echo form that you can do that. You can abuse the hell out of the echo form. But except for the dragon statue actually has a large hitbox too, so you can abuse the shadow orb attack on the dragon statue. And then you also have the world's first form, which has weird inconsistency because he doesn't take how do I put it? In the middle of his move, apparently his hitbox moved before his actual animation for when he teleports and stuff. So you can constantly get, he sometimes will raise his hitbox higher, so you can essentially almost tell immediately when he's gonna move. But sometimes he could just be standing still, and the game is like, oh, you want the next move to him to teleport, but then he also like change his mind midway and decide to, no, I'm just gonna stand here and swing my attack instead, which is really weird. So yeah, I don't have any recording for these stuff because I did record them, but my recording fucked up and into a different format. I'm not using OBS, but like they record a different format, and I just don't have any more. I'm like, I don't want to go through the whole process of recording those fights and stuff. But yeah, and there's also this attack when he uses sword thing. This is Prestimo because the sword also counts as his hitbox too. So you get to, I guess, do more damage when he does this, especially when you're hugging him. I'm guessing. I don't have any mods to see more of the hitboxes, but yeah, that's it.